What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. I'm Michigan Sports Talk here. Hope you guys all had a great 4th of July. But in this video, we talk about 3 Michigan players who have made the preseason All-American teams, as well as ESPN's most recent mock draft, and where some Michigan players ended up in that. I also talk about the incoming freshman for Michigan who could quickly rise the depth chart. We also got some recruiting news as we give some updates on Andrew Olesh, offensive line recruiting news. We talk about the top 100 safety Zach Fort, the top target from IMG Academy in the 2026 class. It's all going to be in this video and more, so let's go ahead and get right into it. So to start this video, I did want to talk about 3 Michigan players who made Walter Camp's preseason All-American teams ahead of the 2024 season. 2 of them were on the first team in Colston Loveland and Will Johnson, and then defensive tackle Mason Graham was on the preseason second team All-American list. Michigan is one of 6 schools with multiple preseason first team All-Americans, along with Georgia, Notre Dame, Alabama, Tennessee, and Ohio State. Now, Mason Graham, despite him being a second team All-American, both Lindy's and Athlon Sports listed him in their preseason first team All-American releases. But obviously, Colston Loveland and Will Johnson are no-brainers. Both of them may be the best at their position in all of college football, especially Will Johnson. Let me know what you guys think about that, and if Mason Graham got snubbed on the Walter Camp preseason All-American teams. Now, all 3 of those players, Colston Loveland, Will Johnson, Mason Graham, they are most likely going to be first-round draft picks in the NFL draft, this upcoming 2025 NFL draft. But ESPN recently did post a mock draft from analyst Matt Miller, and Will Johnson, he came in at number 3, selected by the Denver Broncos. Also in the top 10 was Mason Graham, going 7th overall to the Minnesota Vikings. And then Colston Loveland, he went number 14 to the Colts, which he could potentially be another player drafted inside the top 10 depending on the type of season he has and obviously team needs from the teams inside the top 10. But nonetheless, all 3 of those players will definitely be first round draft picks. That's where those 3 came in on ESPN's latest mock draft. And obviously Michigan had a fantastic 2024 NFL draft showing, as they had 13 players drafted in the 2024 NFL draft, which was the most of any college this past draft. Then I also wanted to talk about some incoming freshmen for Michigan that could have breakout falls and rise up the depth chart at their position. And the first guy is the freshman running back Jordan Marshall. It was one of Michigan's best gets in the 2024 class, one of the best running backs in the 2024 class, and coming in, many have compared him to Blake Corum, and many say that he is ready to roll right away at the college level. And he's a guy that definitely could rise up the depth chart, potentially could be the number 3 running back towards the end of the season behind Donovan Edwards and Kalel Mullings. But nonetheless, Michigan should be giving him some carries, and he's one freshman to really keep an eye out for. Obviously, Blake Corum came in his freshman season. That was the 2020 season. He appeared in all 6 games and even started once in the backfield, and really you could just see him as a freshman just start to take over, even when Michigan had Zach Charbonnet, and he was a good running back too, before he transferred to UCLA the following year. So very excited for Jordan Marshall. I also do think that Michigan has 2 tight ends coming in that are going to be very good, out of Brady Prescorn and Hogan Hansen. Some people believe that Brady Prescorn could be the next Colston Loveland, and would not be surprised to see him rise up on the depth chart. He's obviously from Rochester, Michigan, the in-state recruit. And one guy who seems to be very underrated was the 3-star linebacker Cole Sullivan. He was an early enrollee. He participated in Rose Bowl and national championship practices, and he seemed to perform really good in those practices and could find himself in a 2 deep spot and rise up the depth chart. Michigan is also bringing in a heck of an offensive line group, but obviously, you know, they're going to have to wait for their turn. But let me know who you guys think in the 2024 recruiting class for Michigan will make big strides in their first freshman year, and who you guys are most excited to see. But now I do want to talk about some recruiting news. I do have some updates. First, I did want to mention that the 2025 four-star top 100 offensive lineman S.J. Alafatui has committed to Miami, mainly between Miami, Michigan, and Nebraska. Douglas Utu, another Bishop Gorman offensive lineman, has committed to Tennessee. That was back in June. Michigan is still in the mix for Ale Kalanivovalu, as Utah, USC, Nebraska, Oregon also in the mix. And obviously we have talked about the five-star offensive tackle Andrew Babalola. It is mainly a Michigan-Stanford battle right now. I do think Michigan has a legitimate chance here. He's very big on academics. That is one of the main reasons Stanford currently leads. But obviously, Michigan is a very good academic school and has a better football program than Stanford right now. So I do know a lot of Michigan commits right now are recruiting Andrew Babalola, trying to get him to come to Michigan. Also, the 2025 four-star safety Jadon Blair has committed to Notre Dame. He's a top safety target for Michigan in the 2025 class. I'm sure Michigan will try to flip him, but it does suck to lose out on him. Then according to Bryce Marriage of the Michigan Insider, he said that he is still feeling confident with Michigan's chances to land the top 100 four-star tight end Andrew Olesh, as Alabama has been, trying to fight off Michigan, change his mind, but right now Michigan still has those crystal ball predictions going in their favor and is set to announce his decision July 8th. So just a couple more days here. Obviously Michigan missed out on Hardy Watts. He committed to Wisconsin. Now, obviously I'm sure he potentially could be a flip candidate for Michigan up until signing day. It also may depend on how Wisconsin does this upcoming season, how Michigan does, but obviously Andrew Babalola is the big one on the board right now. And I also wanted to talk about a 2026 recruit out of the four-star top 100 safety Zach Fort from IMG Academy. Obviously Michigan has landed 2 commitments from Donovan Johnson and Caden Strayhorn, both from IMG Academy, and they're still working on Nathaniel Wusu Boateng. But Zach Fort could be another IMG Academy player to see himself play for Michigan. He recently just released his top 13, and Michigan did make the list, and Fort did talk to E.J. Howland of the Wolverine. Obviously Michigan, they have new defensive backs coach Lamar Morgan, and Fort said that it was great to hear from him. He told me that I still had an offer. It was a great conversation. He said he's looking forward to building his relationship with Coach Morgan. He said, I know Coach Moore is going to do great things with the program. I think he's going to be very successful. And he said, Michigan, they're already recruiting me, and the running back Donovan Johnson and offensive lineman Caden Strayhorn already working on him and talking about them. He said Michigan is getting some dogs. Both of them are great players. It would be really cool to play with them again. So Michigan, a major contender for the top 100 safety in the 2026 class is Zach Fort. Obviously Michigan already has the 2026 four-star top 100 quarterback Brady Hart committed, and the 2026 class could definitely be a very big class for Michigan, I think. But obviously, recently it's just been NIL that has really been making Michigan struggle to land the big recruits. So hopefully that changes in the 2026 class. Michigan is set to host a ton of 2026 targets on their barbecue at the Big House in July, which will be at the end of the month. But with that, that's going to wrap up today's video. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, make sure you guys go ahead, drop a like, comment down below, and subscribe for more if you are new around here. I'd greatly appreciate it. Other than that, hope you guys all have a great rest of your day, and we will see you guys in the next video. Go Blue.